Well, NASCAR at Atlanta has been something that I don't know if was really loved by NASCAR fans for a long time, but let me tell you, it did not disappoint this week. A 3-wide photo finish. It was one of the races of my lifetime, I gotta say.
One car is up and over, barrel rolling down the back straightaway.
Clear,
And Larson's in the wall. I beat your favorite driver.
And who would that be?
All of them. Goes to Kyle Busch. That's right. Contact between Chastain. They're in the wall. Chastain and Larson are in the wall.
All the buddies know, and he's always right.
Green flag.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Cameron Simpson. Thank you all for being with us a day later than normal. I apologize. It's going to be tough for me these next few weeks to get videos out as soon as I would like to and as soon as I think a lot of people would want them, but I'm going to keep doing my NASCAR reactions and my reactions to the series and the news from around the series as much as I can. I've probably said this here with you guys before, but I'm doing a lot of reporting with my school and stuff, so it's tough to balance that with this, but nevertheless, you don't want to hear about that. You want to hear about my opinions on the race and what an incredible finish to the race that it was. I mean, we had 3-wide racing. We had a wreck on lap 2, which I was very concerned about. Oh no, they're wrecking on lap 2. This is going to be a crash fest. It's going to be worse than a NASCAR Truck Series race. Boy, was I wrong for thinking that, and I think this race put the staple on what NASCAR wanted from this Atlanta repave. Remember, Atlanta, the old Atlanta, always put on a decent race, but it was old, it was burned out, it needed a remodel, it needed something new. And exactly what happened today is the reason NASCAR decided to move in the way that they moved, in the direction that they went. Super speedway racing in NASCAR is its bread and butter. It's the unique aspect that NASCAR has. And while a ton of people were so critical that they were making another super speedway, I said that is NASCAR's crown jewel. That is NASCAR's most go-to moment. And I think I was right by saying that, because tonight, after this incredible finish, which we'll talk about in a second, NASCAR brought in some of the highest viewership that they have ever had in NASCAR. I'm sure the ratings hopefully will show that. But you know what else they had? They had trending, social media trending. That's what I mean by highest numbers that they've ever had. This was a trending moment. They were number 1 on trending, they were number 3 on trending, number 4 on trending. I think at one time they were 1, 4, and 6, and one time they were 1, 2, 3, and 4. They were trending online because of this finish and because of how great this race turned out to be. So with that, let's dive in. Let's start with the finish of this race, which turned out to be a 3-wide showdown. Now, Daniel Suarez, who ends up winning the race, came out of nowhere in this final lap. Kyle Busch, it was kind of in there once in a while. He dealt with a speeding penalty for most of the race. Ryan Blaney was in the front at the beginning, got shuffled in the back on pit strategy, shuffled his way back in the front, was also extremely competitive all day long. So all 3 of those final players were very good. You had a guy like Bubba Wallace, who was also there at the end, who kind of stuck around in the front for a good chunk of this day, but his car was damaged from an earlier incident. So anyway, they're pushing each other. We had a 1, 2, 3. First it was 1, 2, Kyle Busch comes out of the corner and he cuts in the middle, and that was the move of the race. He gets in the middle, we're 1, 2, 3 through 3 and 4, and as we head into that final straightaway, we're still 1, 2, 3. They're cutting down the straightaway, and of course it is going to be a photo finish. This one came down to 0.003 seconds. This is how close it was, and the cars were just absolutely bumper to bumper. Somebody put out the Lightning McQueen meme. It's not a meme, but it came from the movie of Lightning McQueen sticking out his tongue and compared it to the NASCAR finish. I think it's a correct representation of exactly what happened. I mean, that was an incredible finish to this race. 1, 2, 3, you can't ask for anything better. And at first glance, I think you would think Ryan Blaney won that race. But when you dive deeper, it's clear that it was Daniel Suarez, who, by the way, this win, which is going to get probably a little overshadowed by how incredible the finish was, and a day after people are still talking about how incredible the finish was, but Daniel Suarez needed this win. He's been feeling a lot of pressure by his team at Trackhouse. Remember, Chastain had an incredible season last year. The year before, he went to the championship four. He made a playoff run last year. He just got an insane sponsorship from Busch Beer, and that was a huge sponsorship for that team. And so Daniel Suarez, who was the top-notch driver at that team, was slowly now becoming the second-tier driver. And with a lot of incredible talent out there in the NASCAR Cup Series and the Xfinity Series moving up, and people in that Chevy camp that could go to Trackhouse, it was becoming clear that Suarez's job may be on the line. He's just not producing enough. This win could single-handedly secure Daniel Suarez's career in NASCAR. It may elevate him to stay with the team. Now, obviously, Suarez is going to still need to work hard the rest of the season, but the fact that he had good speed, was there at the end, those are all very promising facts that we saw at the end of this race. A couple more notes on this finish, though. I mean, I can't get over just how close it was, and this could go textbook. It's the third closest finish in NASCAR history, and I think this shows how good the product of NASCAR is getting. They're getting viral moments like this. The racing all day long was edge of your seat. Commercial breaks hurt. Like, that's how good of a race we had. And as the day continued on, we got more and more good racing, and it was clean racing. There wasn't a lot of terrible wrecks. We had that one on lap 2, but after that, there was little incidents here and there, but it wasn't chaos. The race ended under green. It ended competitive. And it was that you don't necessarily need a giant draft. You might need a little push, but you don't need a giant draft. And I thought that was a great part of the day. So for the most part, that finish is the highlight of the race, but the racing all in all throughout the day was incredible. Let's talk a little bit about that. I mentioned how lap 2, we started off on a bad note with that giant crash. It took out, I think it was 16 or 19 cars, something crazy like that. Huge pileup, took out a ton of great drivers and cars and equipment. But circle back, that was still a pivotal moment in the race because a lot of good cars got damaged. But remember, Joey Logano, who apparently cheated with his gloves. Instead of using a NASCAR certified glove, he used a non-NASCAR certified glove, and he got himself in trouble by the NASCAR penalty police, and it was clear as day. He cheated on the glove, which I just think is stupid and probably deserves to be penalized for that. If you know it's a rule, why even push it? But whatever, they did. They pushed it. He's going to get a penalty for it. He does get the penalty for it and has to start in the back, but he's also going to have to go down pit road according to the rule book, right? So he's making his way down pit road. We all think he's going to go 1 to 2 laps down. Turns out, because of that caution, Joey Logano stays on the lead lap. Huge break for him, because if that caution doesn't come out, we probably don't talk about Joey Logano for the majority of the day, but because of that, he was able to move his way back up towards the front, race competitively. I don't exactly know where he finished. We'll get to that in a minute. But because of that, he did a great job, and it saved his day. That caution was the luckiest thing for that 22 team. It saved his day, saved his race, and potentially helped him out in the points because he struggled last weekend in that category. Then we went pretty much green for the majority of the rest of the race. There might have been another caution, or maybe it was the pit road was the next thing. On pit road, the 34, Michael McDowell, fast all day, comes in pit road. It was a little chaotic. Pit road's narrow. You're going from 90 miles per hour to 45 miles per hour when you enter pit road because the speed limits are different under green conditions because of how long the Atlanta pit road is. It goes from 90 to 45. So they're changing speeds. McDowell clips the Daytona 500 champion William Byron, puts him into the wall. No caution comes out because of this, but McDowell suffers some damage, and it kind of will take him out of contention for the rest of the race because he was in huge contention. I mean, I think he went from at the end of the stage. Did he win? I think Blaney might have won. I forget who won the stage, to be honest with you. But McDowell, I think it was McDowell who won the stage, whatever. He had to pit, was in the back of the field because the other drivers didn't pit. He came all the way back in the front in less than 20 laps. It was incredible to watch. I think I've said incredible a lot, but that kind of shows you how this race was, just incredible. But that incident really kind of halted his day. I think he could have been in the mix at the end of this race if that did not happen. Then we get towards a couple isolated things. Third stage, the 9 car goes for a spin. That was tough. The 11 car is involved in a wreck with Chase Briscoe, but still manages to stay up front towards the end of the race. And then we have that insane finish that is going all over the place. I can't go online without seeing that picture. All my social media feeds have that picture on it. So it's pretty cool, pretty fun, and great for NASCAR. Incredible for NASCAR. So I'm trying to think of the other guy I want to mention before we look at the results is Todd Gilliland. Michael McDowell's teammate, and so far, Front Row Motorsports, they had a Penske manufacturer sponsorship, not sponsorship, but them and Penske have become so much closer. They've been elevated to a tier 1 team, according to Ford. They are getting the best equipment week in and week out. And I know it's only been 2 super speedways, and it's tough to judge your yearly speed based on 2 super speedways, but I think it is an equivalence that we can judge our 2 speeds based on that. They've been doing that well for that long this season. They deserve it. Todd Gilliland, a guy that last year was just Michael McDowell's teammate, is so far these last 2 weeks, both races, Mike Joy threw it out there. Last week, he broke his record for leading his personal best laps. I think he led 17 laps. He broke his personal best. This week, he broke last week's personal best with 19. So that's very good for Michael McDowell. Todd Gilliland. Let's look at the finishing results. We mentioned the top 3 right here involved in that incredible, amazing, best NASCAR finish in my lifetime. Daniel Suarez, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch. 1, 2, 3. Kyle Busch for the third week in a row, and that's really showing that his team's got it. He finished 3rd at the Clash, 12th at Daytona, but was really much in contention. And again this week, same thing with Ryan Blaney. Though he got caught up in that wreck in Daytona, he showed incredible speed at the Clash. He showed great speed at Daytona, and then he finally gets the finish he deserves. In second, we talked about Suarez. This is career changing. Cindric. For once, he actually looked good at a track, running well, finishing 4th. That was good for him. Bubba Wallace in 5th. We mentioned that he had damage. Good recovery for that team. Stenhouse with a top 6. That deserves a recognition early in the season to get that top 6. That's big for them. Chastain in 7th. Michael McDowell will end up finishing 8th today. Chris Buescher will end up in 9th. Ty Gibbs in 10th. Harrison Burton. That car was very fast in the 21. Also caught up in an early incident. Still able to be there at the end. That's pretty good. Truex, I thought he might have a chance to win this race today with some of the speed he showed in stage 2. Just not the day. Finishes 12th. Corey LaJoie deserves a shout out in 13th. Another good week for him and his team. Kaz Gralla in 15th. And then even though Chase Elliott went for a spin, he finished 15th. Some notables outside of that top 20. I think it's worthy to mention Denny Hamlin. Got involved in that incident, but still finished at a decent point in 23rd. I mean, it sucks for him, but it is what it is. Alex Bowman, 27th. Tough day for him, involved in that first race incident. I want to mention Brad Keselowski as well. He got knocked out in an accident, but his car was fast. Looked like he had winning potential in this race. And we already mentioned, where is he? Todd Gilliland, 26, unfortunately involved in an incident as well. All right, quickly on the Fox broadcasts. I know it's early in the season, so I like to talk about how the broadcasts are. I think they're taking NASCAR much more seriously this year. So far, so good. I would say in the broadcast, the booth had a great ending call to that race, a great call throughout. The analysis is on point. Having a driver who actually drove the next-gen car makes it better. And then we had 3-wide racing. It also adds to a great quality of a broadcast. I think the production truck has put better camera angles out, better quality, but I think our big gripe with Fox is we don't have enough side-by-side with commercials. We get too many commercials, and that's the only thing that really stinks. I also think that once in a while they miss cautions. They missed a caution during the 17 Chris Buescher spin. We missed it because they were at caution. They were not at caution. They were at commercial when the caution came out. So that's unfortunate. And I wish you could just cut back on that. The reason I found out about that caution was scrolling through Twitter, and Bob Pockris posted about it, not Fox. All right, let's put this race on hit the gas or hit the brakes. Obviously, I've mentioned the quality of the finish, but the quality of the racing all in all was very, very good. I'm not going to say incredible. It was very, very good. They had, the beginning of the race, it was Kyle and Kyle show. Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson. They continued to, they like, one would swoop down low, one would jump back up. It was great to watch. That was the battles that we saw. You got to run, you took the run and got to the front. If the other guy got to run, he'll cross you up for it. And that kind of happened up towards the front. We had some 3-wide racing in the back. There was really never a time where the cars just got up on the top line and just trained around the track. They really used every corner, every inch of this racetrack for a positive gain towards the racing surface, which I thought was very well deserving of them, and I think they did a good job of it. So I'm going to hit the gas all the way, pedal to the metal. This race is not just going to get an A+, it's getting an A++, the highest score you can get on hit the gas or hit the brakes. There was nothing wrong with this race. I enjoyed every single second of it. and it deserves a big round of applause. Great job, NASCAR. Great job to the teams, and great job to Atlanta. I'm excited for its first playoff race of the season, which will come at the end of the year. All right, next week we're in Vegas. I'll see you then. Until then, have a great day, everyone. Peace out.